Hello, and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to the podcast today. Today I am interviewing one of my business friends, Maree Kirkpatrick, who is a character. I really wanted to bring her on the show. I actually did a podcast on her podcast around ending body burnout, and there were so many things that she kind of shared throughout that interview about herself that I'm like, oh, I feel like our listeners would get so much value learning about your mold illness journey and also how she's intentionally balancing motherhood and business and work and really nailing living her life on purpose. I also love Maree because she loves everything. She loves both like the physical, functional medicine, lab testing, supplements, diet, like that is how she entered her mold illness journey, but also fully embracing the woo-woo, connecting to self, and the deeper metaphysical work that comes into play when you are healing not just your physical body, but healing your whole self. So I think that you'll find so much value in this conversation today. Maree is also a sales expert. So we'll be touching on sales, but kind of like from the scope of health and lifestyle and creating a business and an offer that aligns with you as well. So if you're a business owner, there will be some gems at the end as well around selling with integrity. So officially, Maree is a sales and business growth strategist who helps businesses with their messaging, sales and marketing systems and processes. She's won numerous industry awards, including the Sales Mastery Top Gun Award. Maree has over 17 years of experience negotiating millions of dollars in sales and helping businesses get to their next income goal. Maree has successfully worked with businesses from startup stage through to multi-million-dollar global companies. She is passionate about what she does, gets results, and does it from a space of care and connection. Maree has founded her Sales Club, which helps women in business make more income and impact by learning how to sell what it is they do with ease, focusing on connection, relationship building, and support. And she is passionate about seeing women succeed and selling with ease. So let's dive into today's conversation. Welcome everyone to the podcast today. I'm very excited to have Maree Kirkpatrick here on the podcast today. We met each other through a business program that we're on, and I love your style. I love your personality. I love your no BS type stuff. And also we've had some cool conversations around woo-woo things as well. You integrate that both personally, but also in the way that you run your business. And we'll talk more about the business side of things in a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming.
Pleasure. I'm excited about our chat. And you're right, we have had some really great raw and real conversations, and I'm excited to expand on that more today.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so we love to just dive straight into our guests' personal journeys, especially from a health perspective, because a lot of the people listening to this are trying to find solutions for their health and how to navigate burnout. So our conversations in the past, I remember you were telling me about, I love functional medicine. I came across it when I was trying to work out what the heck was going on with my weird health issues. Are you happy to dive into that?
Yeah. So about 10 years ago, I had just had my first child. I had a unwell mother-in-law. We ended up moving into her house to support her on her cancer journey. And after I had my baby, I just felt rubbish, constantly rubbish. Like there was not like good days and bad days. It was just like constant bad days. And when I spoke to people, they'd be like, "Oh, you're a new mum." Like there was always a reason as to why I felt so tired, so lethargic, so brain foggy. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just a phase of life that you've just got to get through. And then I remember when my son got to about 2, and I remember sitting around with some of the mums I'd met through Mother's Group. And I was like, so do you guys feel like you've recovered from like childbirth and, like you've got your energy and stuff back now that your baby's sleeping? And they're like, yeah, we feel like we're back to normal. And I was like, oh, okay, this isn't my normal.
Yeah.
I had pain, constant pain through my body, like my legs and stuff would feel like, I know this is a little bit graphic, but this is what it felt like. It felt like someone had attacked me with a baseball bat to my shins.
Wow.
So every morning I would get out of bed and I'd put my feet on the ground, and it would determine when I stood up what my day was going to be like based on that level of pain. And I was like, I've just got to keep going. I've just got to get through it. And I'd go and talk to my GP, bless her. She was beautiful. And she'd be like, we'll do the bloods, we'll run all the tests, we'll do everything we can do. And it took 4 years, and the GP getting to the stage where she was like, I can't find anything. And I was like, what? And then she started to question maybe it was a mental thing. And I've done a lot of work over the years.
It's all in your head.
Yeah, I was like, this is not in my head. Like, there's no way that this is in my head. And I was so frustrated, and I'd gone to so many specialists, and I'd probably dropped about $30,000 trying to figure this out. $30,000 with no real answers, no feeling any better, no relief from the frustration, the pain, the brain fog, the fatigue. And so I was having a whinge to another lady in business about it. And she said, oh, you need to go and check out this functional medicine practitioner. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of these people. Tell me more. And she was like, look, I won't tell you about what she does, but what I'll tell you is you need to go and see her. But when you meet her and you walk into her office, she'll be like, where have you sent me? I was like, okay. So I rocked up, and she
Or was it like crystals or something?
It wasn't even crystals. It was bright blue eyeshadow.
Oh, wow.
Hair, like she was just living in her own creativity and space. And I really, if my friend didn't warn me about it, I would have been like, I'm in the wrong place. But she told me that she's a little bit quirky, but trust me, she'll figure you out. And I was like, okay. I sat in her office. She spoke to me for about 10 minutes, and she said, I think you've got mold poisoning.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, 4 years, no one's ever mentioned this to be an issue. I don't understand. And so she was like, okay, let's do a few tests. Anyway, went back to her, and she was like, yep, confirmed you have mold poisoning. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, because there was a form of relief of like, I knew this wasn't in my head. And also it all made sense, because moving into my mother-in-law's house, which was very cold and damp, fitted in with the timeline. And I was like, yeah. And so I remember calling my husband, and I said to him, we've got to move out. And he was like, okay. He's like, are you done? I said, I'm done. Like, it's my health or her health. I can help her from afar. I can't help me still being in this environment.
Yeah.
So we moved out, and the whole detoxification journey started. But for those 4 years, I felt like I was going a little bit loopy, because I was like, this isn't in my head. I know my body doesn't feel right. I know that it's just not happening, it's just not working. And I even started, my first business was a vitamins and supplements business, because I felt so rubbish. And when I looked at vitamins and supplements for women, bodybuilding.com came up. And I was like, I don't know if women are going to really click with that from a branding perspective. And so my first business was, Vibrant Bodies, helping women from a vitamins and supplements point of view because I felt so exhausted constantly.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah,
When you were doing that, did you find that you were quite resistant to supplements and different protocols?
I just felt like nothing was working.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
matter what I did. It didn't matter whether I slept more, exercised more, ate better, drank more water, took more vitamins, ticked all the health boxes.
Mm.
Nothing changed. And the more I exercised, the more fatigued I was. It was like my body was like trying so hard to fight and thrive at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So then you moved out and you said you started detoxing. So that was actually like a
Yeah.
detox protocol to grab the mold spores out of your system and pull it all
Yes.
out. Yeah. And
Yeah.
just over time you got better.
Yeah. So then I also went off and did some woo-woo health retreats.
Yeah.
Uh and we did a full cleanse and we also got into infrared saunaing and stuff like that. That changed my life to the point where I was on this retreat and I called my husband. He was at the pub with the boys and I was like, I'm going to buy this this infrared sauna. And he was like, yeah, yeah. And I'm going to buy a jacuzzi. I was like, yeah, cool. You figure out where your jacuzzi's going. I'm buying the
Do both.
sauna. Yeah. And so we bought this sauna that a lady had purchased. She'd used it twice. She didn't like it because it made her sweaty.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
isn't
it's
that
kind of
what
like
saunas is supposed to do?
yeah, it's kind of like putting a pool in, then going, I don't like it because I get wet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Works really well in my favor. It was a top of the line sauna that she knew nothing about. And so she wanted to get it off her hands as soon as possible. So we bought it and installed it at home, and it has really aided my health and well-being in that space. It gives me a lot of energy. It gives me that chill time. It's kind of like being in my own little box of silence
Mm.
and being with my thoughts and stuff too. So yeah, so the detox side of it started to happen and the change in my body uh was a game changer. It was like I had a
Mm.
whole new lease on life.
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool. Mold illness is so hidden for so many people.
Yeah.
I'm always curious to like deeper root causes. And you mentioned going on this spiritual retreat or woo-woo retreat.
Yeah.
Did you discover anything else about yourself in terms of, it wasn't just the mold or just having a new baby, there was other stuff going on
There
at
was
like a
other
deeper
stuff.
meta level
Yeah.
level?
So I think there was a really big underlying not enough uh being being the younger person. So I'm one of three in my family, two older brothers. And I always used to get told, you're too young, you're a girl, you can't do it, all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And so when I stepped into the business journey, they're some of the hardest things to overcome in business, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not anyone else necessarily telling you that in the business world. It's just internal and it's this constant fight. And I remember when I got diagnosed with the mold poisoning, it was kind of like that's another reason that I don't have to step into me wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so once the mold started to clear, I had to work on being me fully. There was no other excuses anymore. There was no illness that you could say to people, oh, I'm just doing this because of, or my business isn't where it's at because I've been sick for so many years, or, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
So it really uncovered this being okay to take a seat at the table, at the big
Mm-hmm.
table, and it's still something that I work on a regular basis. I remember going to an event that I got invited to by someone that I look up to. She runs multi-million dollar businesses. And she was like, hey, do you want to come to this event and sit at my table? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then I went there and I remember driving there thinking, my business isn't big enough to be with these people.
Mm.
Like who am I to be sitting here? And I remember in the past, alcohol was my squasher of thoughts around that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to squash it with food. I don't want to squash it with alcohol. I don't want to have a health band-aid or label that I can put on it that gives me a reason not to play hard out.
Yeah. I
Mm.
love that. It's so cool. It's so connected. So you are a successful businesswoman. You're doing awesome things. And you love
Yeah,
helping other women in their sales and their marketing and
yeah.
making a big impact in the world. And you're also a mom. You've literally just had like a brand new little
I know,
baby.
yes. I
And
now
you've got
have
two
three.
others.
Yeah, I now have
Yeah.
three kids. Yeah, my youngest is 6 weeks old, so that's been a really interesting journey from a mindset perspective as well.
Mm.
So we in our house between hubby and I, hubby runs one business, I run two, and we're very involved parents as well. So our kids don't not the, and there's no judgment around this stuff, right? I just want to pre-frame that. My kids don't go to after school care, they don't go to before school care. There's no um extra help or anything like that. It's hubby and I making it all work. And I'm very passionate about life by design.
Mm.
I want to be that active, present mum. I want to be able to go, like, I remember starting my first business, and the reason why I wanted to start it was when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't want to have to go and ask my boss to go to the sports carnival, the swimming carnivals, the plays during school time. I just didn't want to have to walk into that office because I remember when I started working for a company, I got invited to go and meet Richard Branson.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, wow, like this is like chance of a lifetime, right? And I remember walking into my boss's office and I'd only been in the job for like 2 weeks. And I was like, hey, I'd really like to have the day off in 2 weeks or whatever on the Friday because I've been invited to go to Richard Branson. He was like, oh, I'm going to have to double check if that's going to be feasible. And I was like, what?
Richard Branson, come
I was
on.
like, dude, yeah, I was like, it's like Oprah. Like it was just a non-negotiable for me. And I remember thinking, well, if he says no, I'm out. I'm quitting. Like I'm going to see Richard
Mm.
Branson. Um, and I remember thinking I'd never want to feel like that when it came to my kids. Like Richard Branson, great. But Richard Branson probably doesn't even know who I am, right? But my
Are you sure
kids,
about that? Does
oh,
he know who
well,
you
look,
are?
yeah, I'd love to have him on speed dial. Um, but my kids, like I'm a really big uh person in their life, obviously. And I don't want them to feel like mum's not there when I need her the most.
Yeah.
Um, that makes me a little bit emotional because I want
Mm,
to be that active mum. I want to be,
mm,
I want it all. I want to be the successful business owner and have that beautiful relationship with my kids as well. So that's
mm.
why I'm really passionate about helping women in business because I truly believe that you can have it all.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So I know like a new baby always throws things into the works. Prior to having number three, like
yeah,
what did that look like for you to be able to hold space for both things, like for a business and being successful in your career and work and
yeah.
showing up as a mum?
So for me, it's about having things as easy as possible. So life by design for me is about how do I make things simple, easy, stress-free. I have no interest in being stressed out. I have no interest in hustling. And I think also being known as the sales chick in inverted commas, people expect you to be like hustle, hustle, go, go, like push, pull. Not
Dirty
interested.
old car salesman.
Yeah, do whatever it takes to get the sale. And you're like, ew, gross, no thanks.
Yeah.
And because I'd been in that burnout phase, I never want to go back there. Like it's not
Mm,
enjoyable. And so for me, it was like, how do I set up systems, processes, and make things as easy as possible? So in my businesses, it's what needs to be set up for things to be when I'm in the business and it's easy. When I'm in mum life, it's easy. So whether it's being really clear on what the food looks like for the week and having groceries delivered or um like even this week, because this week's been a little bit hectic, I jumped on to a website, a beautiful small business that does homemade healthy food. And so they're sorting out 3 meals for me for this week that are low carb, really clean, like nonna built food, like the
Mm-hmm.
old school from scratch type meals. So that's how I do my best to juggle it. Does it always work? Absolutely not. Do I always feel like I'm nailing it? No. Even you saying you're a really successful business owner, that I have to actually stop and consciously take that in because
Mm,
it never feels like I am.
mm,
It's never enough. Like it's always that like what's that next stage for me?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So cool. Let's talk about money,
Yeah.
or sales. So I know that, I mean, there'll be listeners from all walks of life and definitely some business owners and people who are making those decisions around their business and, bringing in income for
Yeah.
their business and their family. I like talking about money and burnout because I find that financial stress is such a big reason why people get stuck in this like busy,
Yep.
um what's that little hamster
Rat
wheel thing
race.
that's going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
and people can also tie it up with their worth and their value, and so then perfectionism, people pleasing patterns can all start showing up as well. And I know for me too, I had massive money scarcity
Yep.
issues back in the day, and sales, like when you were talking about the salesperson, I definitely felt like sales was icky. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah. Or
People will judge me if I like ask them for money.
yeah. And as business owners, especially as women, it's like, oh, I'm really good at what I do, but don't ask me to sell it. I'm like,
Yeah,
but that's your job as a business owner.
yeah.
Your job as a business owner is to sell. And when I chat to my clients about it, it's not necessarily selling, it's serving. Who are you serving? Who are you helping? Who are you moving forward? Who are you finding that you can go, I know I can help you. Just come and take my hand. That's literally
Mm-hmm.
what sales is. It's the conversation of, I can help you, take my hand. I know exactly
Mm-hmm.
where you're at. I know exactly where you want to go. I know I can help you. Let's play together. And as women, yeah, we do a lot of women put their self-worth down to the dollar. And they
Mm.
think, well, if I'm charging $100 an hour, that means that I'm earning $100 an hour. Well, no, as a business owner, you've still got to pay tax, super expenses, profit, all of that sort of fun stuff, GST. You're probably walking away with like $35, $40
Mm-hmm.
an hour in your hand. And that doesn't take into account any of the back end building type stuff. That doesn't take it into account any of the growing, researching, learning time. And so then they get into this, well, I've just got to work harder. I've just got to put
Mm-hmm.
more time and energy into my business.
Yeah.
And then that burnout kicks in. I'm like, well, what if you just learnt to sell from a really connected, relationship focused space? That's
Mm.
easy. So
Mm.
that when you step into your business, you have inquiries coming in, you have people to talk to, you know how to convert them into paying clients rather than just people that go, oh, that sounds really interesting. And then they go toddle off somewhere else. Um, so yeah.
Are you happy to like share some practical or framework stuff around that? So if people are listening, they're like, yeah, but how? Like, how do I
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah. Easier said than done, Maree. It's all right for you. Like some people think that I literally came out of the womb knowing how to sell.
Mm.
Sales is actually a skill set, like learning to drive a car. Once you know how to do it, it becomes second nature. You can be a really great driver or you can be an average driver. And it's the same when it comes to sales and business in my eyes. And so for me, I teach all my clients a 7-step process, a 7-step sales process. Connect in with your clients, uncover what's going on for them, figure out what you can help with, then look at how we transition into what it is that we do and how that can help them. Because a lot of the time we keep telling our clients or the world what we do, but not how we can help people and what it looks like for them. So, what are the benefits of people working with you? I do have a freebie that if your listeners are in business and they want to check it out, it's on my website, mareekirkpatrick.com/7 steps, and you can
Awesome. I'll pop it
download
in the
it.
show notes as
Yeah,
well. I'll pop it in the show
perfect.
notes. Yep.
And that'll show you that when you go to, as I said, step into your business, it's like, cool, I know I need to do this, 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 and this. It's not a script of like, when you call Telstra or when you call some business and they're like, how are you today, ma'am or Maree? And you go, really good. How are you? And they go, good. Thank you for asking. No one says that in real life. Like no one says that in a natural conversation, right?
Yep.
For me, it's like, how do you be you, but also have the structure and processes behind you to support you to avoid that burnout, to avoid the hustle, to avoid the icky, awkward, gross conversations.
Yeah. I think for me, um, I don't know, it was doing the deep self personal development work as well and getting over those deep self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah,
And then it's so easy. And I don't actually even use the word sell. I actually use the
yeah,
word serve in my head when I have a
perfect.
conversation with someone that, well, yeah, you're obviously suffering and you're looking for a solution. I've got the solution. Took me 10 years to unlock it. I can
Yeah,
shortcut that in 6 months. Um, so
yeah,
why wouldn't I want to share that?
yeah. And if people are going to pay money for the solution anyway, it might as well be with you. It might as well be with someone that has the right integrity, the right drive, the right passion for it. There's a lot of other salespeople out in the world, right? I'm very aware that it's not like I'm not going to do this because there are so many other people doing it. I know that I do it from a really connected, authentic, caring way. Like my clients will be like, wow, you're not the person I thought you would be. You're not the salesperson that I expected you to be. And I'm like, you don't have to be anyone else but you.
Yeah.
Like people are going to go and pay someone else. It may as well be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
huge, there's a mindset side of it. There's also a strategy and process behind it too.
Mm. I was just thinking of something when you were saying that. It's gone from my head.
That's okay.
From the mind, yeah, you probably will. From the mindset side of things, what do you like? How do you work with people? Because I feel like, again, we've had these conversations too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like what we teach our clients in terms of like understanding their body and being able
Yeah.
to manifest good health in their life.
Yeah.
Like what are some big key things around being able to step into your true self, your authenticity and
Yeah.
serve?
So it's funny that you say that because I believe, as I know you do, that your body gives you signals, right? I know that we will sit down and have a conversation about like the small rocks and then the boulder comes along if you don't listen to the rocks.
Yep.
I believe the same thing in business and sales. When someone says to me, oh, I'd really like to work with you, I'm like, let's jump on and have a conversation. There's many reasons why I have that conversation. One of them is to figure out whether I can help them, but
Mm.
also it allows my body to check in and say, is this person right for me?
Mm.
Because I know that when I first started my business in the consulting space, it was like, I can help everyone and I will help anyone that comes through the door.
Mm.
And what I realized was I don't want to help everyone that comes through the door. Not everyone is my people.
Mm.
And it took me a little while to get that. And I remember when I secured a large client, and it was one of the biggest um, proposals I'd ever put out. And they said yes. And I was like, cool. Then the money hit my account. And I remember being in the shower thinking, this doesn't feel the way that I thought it would feel. I thought everything would like change. And then when I started working with them, I was like, oh, this doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel connected.
Yeah.
And I said yes based on the money side of it. That was the biggest learning curve for me that I was like, no more. I will not do that anymore.
Mm.
Now, when I talk to people and it feels right, I get goosebumps or I get this like
Mm. I'm
wave of
getting
like,
goosebumps right now.
yeah, like I get that wave of like, this is right for me. This is
Mm.
this is a really big sign to say yes. And from a mindset perspective, it's trusting in yourself, in your skill set, and knowing that you have the ability to help people. You just need to get out of your own way. And I remember writing down in a journal once that said, why me? Someone said, why you? Why should I work with you? And then I was like, why the hell not me? I'm freaking good at what I do. And I'm not going to say that, oh, yeah, I'm pretty good. No, I am really great at what I do. I help businesses double, triple, plus their businesses really easy without the extra workload, without the extra hustle, just by optimizing what they do, how they do it, how they connect with people, how they communicate what it is that they do. So for me, it was from a mindset perspective, it was to keep reassuring myself and to keep observing what my skills were doing for other people in their life.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool. If we circle full circle, kind of like
Yeah.
right back to your health journey that you went on and this business journey, and which is all personal development,
Oh,
like
yeah.
what learnings or lessons did you learn to overcome the mold illness and like the belief work that you apply now to business?
Mm.
Or
Okay. So I think the first thing that comes to mind is when I was in that room with the GP and she was like, I can't find anything. There's nothing wrong. I didn't want to stop looking. I knew that I knew something wasn't right. And I think it's the same in business, whether it's right or wrong. Don't let anyone else tell you where you're at, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what is right or wrong for you. I've seen businesses that have changed direction based on what someone has told them, even though it goes against what they really think, feel, and want. And so for me, it's like, yes, you can always have people mentor you and find new ways to do things and things like that, but it's got to feel aligned with me.
yeah.
I'm not going to try and fit myself into the wrong shaped box. And it was the same with my health. It's like, I know that you keep telling me that there's nothing wrong in my body. I'm telling you that there is.
Mm.
And I could have sat back and gone, this is just my life right now. But I remember thinking, and I remember saying to my mum in one conversation, and I was crying on the phone to her, and I was like, I can't be, I think I was like 29 when I was going through it all. I was like, I can't be 29 and feeling like this for the rest of my life. I
Yeah.
just don't want that. Same with business and life. I'm so passionate about helping people build the business that supports their life rather than them supporting the business. Don't work in your business 50 billion hours to then hopefully have the life that you want. Figure out how you can marry them together happily. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think that's been one of my biggest learnings. I think the other thing is that there's no bigger personal development growth opportunity than parenthood and business. And even bigger is combining the two of them.
Yeah.
It's a huge,
Yeah.
it's a huge growth opportunity. You can either fall apart in it or grow through it. And I'm really in the growing through it phase at the moment. I know even before we started recording, I said to you, I would love another more time in my days and all of that. But I also know that I need to sit in this space at the moment and be okay with it, because what I've learned even over the past 6 weeks with having the newest little addition to our family, it's allowed me just to stop and to be creative and to go back to that reassessing where we're at, what we're doing, why are we doing it, how are we doing it for that next level of growth. And I'm really excited about it. Patience isn't one of my skill sets, so it's something that
This
I'm
is the
still,
learning. This is the
yes,
learning.
and it's sometimes not that comfortable.
Well, gee, far out. There's so many metaphors around like birth and pregnancy and
Yeah.
creating life. And then it's
Yeah.
like, and then that stimulates this creativity with business and how you can make an impact outside
Yeah.
of your home. And then it's also like uncomfortable, like labor is. And
Yeah. Do you know what's really interesting? So, um, in this, in the birth that I've just gone through, so I've had three um natural water births. This one felt the most challenging mentally before birth because we'd had a miscarriage in between.
oh,
And
wow.
I had this huge fear that something was going to happen
Mm,
during this birth, that this baby would not make it
mm,
to Earthside. Really big stuff. Like, and I'd be talking to someone about it, and then I'd hear an ambulance in the background. And I think that's a sign that, like, this isn't going to be right, you know?
mm,
And so I had to do a lot of work around that of like, this is a choice. My body knows what it's doing. I'm
mm,
trusting in the universe. Whatever will be, will be. And so I did a lot more mindset work around the birth of this baby than I think I had the other two babies that I'd had because we'd had the loss in between.
mm,
And I remember when labor kicked in, I was like, am I in labor? Am I not in labor? And my husband would say, how do you not know whether you're in labor or not? We've done this before. And I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm just not. It was like I hadn't completely tuned into me yet.
mm,
And then I was like, okay, what do I need to do to be more present in this space? And so I put on my music and I just said to him, I'm going internal. Like, you will know when it's time to go to the hospital. I'm going internal. He was like, okay, cool. And he came in, he was like, I think it's time to go. And I was like, yep, I agree. And we went into the hospital, and I had this beautiful midwife that had been, she was learning with my obstetrician. So she'd been with me my whole pregnancy, and she wanted to come in and help deliver the baby. And I was like, yep, great. And she said to me afterwards, your mindset, I've never seen anything like it.
that's cool.
And I was like, it's the same in business. Like that for
Mm,
me, it was just like, what do you mean? Like, this is normal. Like, it's normal to work on your mindset when things come up for you. It's normal to feel like this is really freaking hard at the moment. Like, things are hard. Birthing is hard. It's going to hurt. But I also know that there's magic at the other side of it. And
mm.
so observing other people's reactions was really interesting. I just didn't make a big, like, it didn't seem like a big thing compared to what other people saw it as, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the same in business when people are like, wow, look at what you've done. I'm like, oh, this is just normal. Like, this is
It's just a
just,
natural consequence.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like I think that that's testament to that you have worked on yourself.
Mm,
Not just kind of like surface level because then like the test is when things get hard, how do you show up and how do you move through that? Or do
yeah,
you, as you said before, like, or do you just like crumble and fall apart?
yeah,
Yeah.
and even if we go back to that birthing space, even when they call it the transition phase of like when baby's ready to arrive into the world, I remember saying, are we close yet, in the room,
Mm.
and no one answered.
Oh.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, I can't do this. I had this split second of, I can't do this. And then I was like, no, I can do this. This is a choice. I can do this. And
Mm.
there's no turning back. Like, this baby's coming out. Like, there's no,
One way or the other.
yeah,
So
there's
I
no
may as
refunds
well.
here. Yeah. And I think it's the same in business, but I think it's also about having the right people around you as well. Because at that time, my
Mm,
husband was like, you've got this, babe. That's all I needed to hear. I've got
mm,
this. I just needed someone to say, you're nearly there, to
mm.
push me through that really wanting to bail time. Like, I was like, I'm done. I
Yeah.
can't do this. Give me drugs, give me whatever needs to happen for this baby to arrive.
Yeah.
But I knew deep down inside I wanted to do it drug free. I wanted to do it as natural as possible. I
Mm.
wanted to trust in my body and the process of it all. And I think it's the same in business.
I love that. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Pleasure.
Didn't know we were
I
going to
know.
go to like the birthing
Yeah.
center in this
I didn't know we were going
conversation,
there
but
either.
we go where we need to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So, if anyone wants to reach out to you, especially if they have a business, they're keen to learn a bit more about what you do from a sales, marketing, woo-woo mindset point of view,
Yeah.
strategy, all the things, I'm going to make sure that your 7-step freebie is in the show notes. And any other way that people can connect to you, website or socials.
Yeah, so I've got a website. You can find me at mareekirkpatrick.com. You can find me, Maree Kirkpatrick, across any form of Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, however you like to play in the social world. And I'm always happy to chat. Like, I think sometimes
Yes,
people
she
hesitate.
is always
Yeah.
happy to chat.
I think people hesitate because they're like, I don't want to talk to the sales chick because she's going to sell me something. That's not what I'm about. Like,
Yeah.
I literally just love helping women and business owners to move forward really easily and really create, as I said, create that life that you really desire
Yeah.
that makes you happy.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure,
I will let you
gorgeous.
get to your little baby human
Yeah,
now.
thank you. It seems like everything's quiet behind the scenes, so that's good. I might go out and
Awesome.
everything's, sleeping baby. That would be amazing.
Maybe for another hour and you can have some downtime or something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
Thanks,
right. Thank
gorgeous.
you.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.